All right, Pops, huge news from Ford and GM. Both automakers have entirely shut down their manufacturing plants. Not all of them, one each, but still, this is big news, and both for different reasons, each interesting in their own right. What's going on here? What do we need to know?
Well, at GM, they're shutting down their Fort Wayne plant in March for 2 weeks that produces pickup trucks, Silverados, because, well, the inventory of Silverado pickup trucks is increased so much that, well, they want to artificially maintain inventory levels at a lower level so that they can continue to produce the vehicles with the higher profit margins and not have to incentivize those sales to the same degree that they have in the past. This guarantees dealers make more per car, and it impacts inventory levels so that consumers end up paying more than they should have.
So story number one is General Motors shutting down a manufacturing plant to artificially suppress supply. Interesting. Keep going. And then let's hit on story number two, the Ford side.
And the Ford side is the plant that produces the new 2023 Escape. Well, that vehicle has software issues, and the vehicles they've produced so far are for Ford employees. So until they can figure out what the software issues are and how to correct them, they are just shutting down the plant until they come up with a fix. And the rationale behind it, and I must say, this is a new way of thinking for Ford. The rationale behind it is, well, we want to make sure that the launch vehicles that we produce and we ship to the dealers and that customers buy actually work the way they're intended. And so that we don't have the same issues with the launch of this vehicle that we've had with the launch of recent vehicles. Duh! What an unusual way of thinking, that you want to produce a quality product and ship it to the customer in a quality manner so that they don't have issues. Go figure.
Pops, did you hear the good news?
I did. Abe Lincoln said we should save people 30% if they sign up for CarEdge Coach. That's 30% off through the end of February.
Use the code CarEdge Coach at caredge.com/plans. The president of the local United Auto Workers segment, however the heck you refer to it, Todd Dunn said, quote, this is somewhat of a different approach. We were somewhat surprised over prior launch stoppages that have been spread out. We were surprised that Ford would take this approach. However, it is an approach that can work. So here you go. You've got two stories of the two storied American automakers shutting down, idling plants, one to artificially suppress supply so that they can keep prices high, the other because they have software issues and quality control issues. This is car buying 101 in 2023, Dad. This is the new reality of buying a new pickup truck, new car.
Well, and it will continue with other manufacturers. I am sure that you will see them as their inventories continue to build. You know, Chevy and General Motors, they want to keep their inventory levels somewhere between 50 and 60-day supply at their dealers. And that is to include in-transit vehicles. Mm-hmm. They don't want it to get to the 80, 90, 100-day supply that it was pre-pandemic. So, yes, they are artificially suppressing inventory growth in order to maintain higher profit margins for their dealers. I get it. All the manufacturers are probably going to do that because it signals to them a way to keep the incentive spend to sell vehicles at a much lower level than what it had been historically.
Pops, General Motors for their Chevy Silverado in the fourth quarter, the most recent data we have, the fourth quarter of last year, the average transaction price of the Silverado jumped 9% to $59,187. And at the same time, that incentive spend year over year for the fourth quarter dropped 16% to $1,369 per Chevy sold. Pre-chip shortage, that was $4,000 to $5,000 per vehicle. If that doesn't tell you what's going on, I don't know what will. This is the new reality, the new normal, unfortunately, at least what the automakers want. The other side to this is that if you continue to price people out of the market, eventually someone will undercut at a cheaper price point. But that also touches a bit on this Ford story, which is you have to also build something of quality that can actually be mass produced and shipped. And obviously that's the story at Ford. They've struggled with that for a while now.
They have, and apparently they've decided to take a different approach when it comes to the launch of new vehicle models than they have in the past. And the new approach is let's get a handle on it, let's get it fixed before we ship it, so that our initial customers who buy it aren't reporting all types of issues and creating bad press for the brand. So it's a nice way for them to address the issues that they've had in the past, and really on a corporate level it seems to make so much more sense.